I've been thinking a lot about suffering and how it's such a universal experience. It's really
hmm
fascinating how some philosophies address it.
Are you talking about the concept of dukkha in Hinduism?
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Dukkha is such a fundamental part of Hindu philosophy. It encompasses all forms of suffering, from physical pain to existential angst.
It's interesting how they categorize it, isn't it?
Yeah,
Into suffering related to our own minds and bodies, others, and even natural forces.
absolutely. And what's remarkable is that Hinduism, or should I say Sanatana Dharma, the eternal path, has evolved over thousands of years, yet still addresses these timeless issues.
Yeah, I find it compelling that Hinduism isn't dogmatic. It's so
Exactly.
adaptable and inclusive, recognizing the validity of other faiths.
That's one of the things I appreciate most about it. It's not about exclusivity, but understanding universal truths through various paths. It's like
Right.
it's like a tree with many branches leading to the same root.
That's a great analogy. And speaking of universal truths, the pursuit of understanding the self to overcome suffering is central, isn't it?
Yes. And it's all about realizing that our identification with the physical body and mind is the source of suffering.
hmm
We forget that our true nature is pure consciousness, Brahman.
But isn't it natural to identify with our thoughts and bodies? I mean, that's our immediate experience.
That's true. But Hindu philosophy suggests that this identification is a kind of ignorance, and
Right.
overcoming it through self-awareness can liberate us from the cycle of suffering.
It's a profound idea, but how practical is it for everyday life?
Well, practices like mindfulness, meditation, and ethical living are ways to
Yeah,
integrate it. By observing our thoughts without attachment, we begin to see beyond the ego.
I guess it's about cultivating detachment from impermanent things. But isn't detachment difficult?
It can be challenging, but it's not about indifference.
hmm
It's about recognizing that clinging to impermanent things leads to suffering.
Yeah, like when we hold on to pleasures, we suffer when they fade.
Exactly. And avoiding pain creates fear and anxiety, perpetuating the cycle.
So the key is awareness and acceptance. But I wonder, does this mean we shouldn't pursue happiness?
Not at all. It's about
Right.
seeking lasting happiness by understanding our true nature rather than a temporary satisfaction.
That makes sense. It's a shift from external to internal fulfillment.
Exactly. And that's the essence of the Hindu path to liberation, realizing the self and acting with compassion and ethical conduct.
Yeah, it's fascinating how a tradition so ancient remains relevant today, and it even aligns with modern science in some ways.
Absolutely. Hinduism values reason and logic, embracing a multifaceted approach to truth through darshana, or philosophy.
hmm It's refreshing to see a spiritual tradition so open and adaptive.
Definitely. It shows that the pursuit of truth and overcoming suffering are universal endeavors.
Yeah, well, this has been a deep dive into some profound concepts. Thanks for sharing your insights.
My pleasure. It's always enlightening to explore these topics together.
Absolutely.